but they don't. They just ignore his requests. Then one officer starts suggesting that maybe it was the medication that caused Thomas to snap and unalive his dad. And they keep pushing him to just show them where the body is. And at one point, they even put him in a patrol car, and they drive him around trying to get him to show them where the dad's body is. And this whole time, while they're driving him around, Thomas keeps telling them he didn't unalive anyone, and he's pleading with them to take him to the hospital because he feels sick and he needs his meds. But still, police just ignore his pleas, and they take him back to the station. And poor Thomas, he's confused, and his medication withdrawal is hitting, and he's starting to have a very obvious mental breakdown. But even still, officers just don't believe him. And that is when they decide to bring his dog in. And they're like, look at your dog. Don't you see how traumatized she is because she watched you unalive your own dad? And they tell him that the dog is so mentally messed up from what he did that they're going to have to euthanize her. And this makes Thomas feel even worse. But still, he maintains that he had nothing to do with his dad's disappearance. And after 17 hours of interrogation, police just can't get a confession out of him. But they don't give up. They decide to change tactics and lie. And they tell Thomas they've just found his dad's body and that it's all covered in stab wounds. And they tell him he just doesn't remember unaliving his dad because the medication he takes made him forget that he did it. And at this point, Thomas is so mentally worn down and he's just exhausted. And finally, he looks at them and he says yes. And he admits